Hey, welcome back to Heart on My Sleeve VSG. My name is Amanda. This is your first time here. Welcome. Today's video is going to be all about my journey to Tijuana to get vertical sleeve gastrectomy through the company A Lighter Me. So if you're interested in hearing my story and my experience, then keep on watching. So if you've watched my previous video, I talked a lot about why I chose VSG and why I decided to go through A Lighter Me. So if you're interested in that, I'll link below the previous video explaining why I made those choices. But today I'm going to talk about my experience going to Tijuana all the way from, the few days before surgery till now. So I chose to have surgery on July 4th, so I started pre-op at the very beginning of June. I was required to do a 4-week pre-op diet. I had already done like intermittent dieting. I got the pre-op diet as soon as I was confirmed for surgery. So I tried it on and off for different durations before I was required to go on the pre-op diet. So I think I had lost about 40 pounds already once I started the pre-op diet for my highest weight. My highest weight in February, my highest recorded weight, was 394.8. And then when I got to my pre-op, I had already lost about 40 pounds. So within that 4 weeks pre-op, I had lost about another 20 pounds. So to go a little bit into my journey, I left Saskatchewan. I'm from Canada. I left there at about 5:30 in the morning. We had to take 3 flights to get there. We got there around 5:30, and before we even boarded our last flight, I got a text from our driver, Remy, explaining to us what would happen when we got there and just to text him. And so we boarded our last flight, landed. We didn't have any checked bags, which was nice. We just took our carry-ons, walked outside like we were instructed, found that we were at Section R. I texted Remy that we were at Section R, and within 10 minutes he was there to pick us up. He was super energetic, super excited. We got into the van. There was 2 other patients in the van already and their companions. And from the airport to across the border into the hospital, Remy just explained everything. And we kept asking, do you have the questions? Do you have questions? And we really didn't, because he answered everything. He explained to us that we were going to go to, well, first he explained the border and how that would work, which the border was simple. Like, we were stopped at the border for maybe not even 2 minutes. They just opened the back doors, looked at our luggage, and we were off. So on our way there, he explained to us that we were going for blood work and our ECG, and after that we would go to the hotel. On the way to the hospital, Remy gave us our pickup times for the morning and explained how that would work, that we were to meet in the welcome center at the hotel and we would be picked up for surgery. So we got to the hospital and went to the little office, the A Lighter Me office in the hospital. We were quickly brought in for all our paperwork, which was super easy. Everything was explained really well, what we were signing, why we were signing it. Then we did our ECG and our blood work. We were only at the hospital for maybe half an hour, and then we were off to the hotel. We went straight to the welcome center, and they welcomed us, and they were super friendly. Everyone was super nice. They kind of knew who we were already, which was so comforting. They were so organized from the moment we were picked up all the way there. Gave us our room keys, the bellboys, brought our bags up to our room. They just kind of explained to us again just what we would have to do, make sure to be ready for surgery, to stop drinking any liquids as of, I think it was like 11 p.m. or something like that. Yeah, so we went to our room right away, unpacked, relaxed. It was super nice. The room was really nice. That first night we were in a regular hotel room. When we got to the welcome center, they explained to us that because the hospital was so full, that my mom wouldn't be able to stay with me in the hospital, which I kind of had a little bit of anxiety over, but it was okay. Like, I felt so comfortable the whole time. And so that just meant that we would get a hotel room. The first time we got there, she would stay in that hotel room until the morning I got back from surgery. And we were okay with that. So we went to bed that night. We got up at about 11, I think. The next morning, we were so tired from our travel day. We were in the airport, like in different airports for over 12 hours. It was exhausting. So we were ready to sleep. So we did. We got up. I had a shower. Kind of decided what I needed to bring. I just brought all my bags with me. It was just easier that way. My mom didn't have to bring stuff back and forth. I had everything if I needed it. TMI, I was expecting my period. So I just brought everything. It was just easier that way. So I had my shower, went down to the Welcome Center, and they picked us up, took us there. We went to the office, the Alighter office at the hospital again. Waited there not very long at all, I'd say 15 minutes. And then one of the coordinators brought me to my room, just explained this was my room, how everything worked. I was right beside the nurse's station, which actually I was kind of relieved about. I think it's a good place to be if you have questions or concerns or pain or anything. I actually was happy about that. So yeah, she gave me my robe, got undressed, got into my robe. Then nurses came in just intermittently. Someone came in. I think the first person to come in was the person that gave me my compression socks. And then 2 nurses came in and did my IV. That went alright, I think. Like, I've always had issues with my veins, them finding my veins, so they tried in my arm and that didn't work. But then it was really quick in my hand, and they were really good, really friendly. Everybody, what I found, was so relaxed and calm, and I thought I would have anxiety when I got close to surgery, but I really didn't. Everybody was so comforting and just reassuring, and it was great. So then I was in my room for about half an hour, and then the pre-op doctor came in, just asked me some regular questions, how I was feeling, explained to me that all my pre-op labs and my ECG were all good, that I was clear for surgery, and yeah, and that was pretty much it. Then we waited a little while longer, and Dr. Ortiz came in and explained that I was next to go for surgery. He told me to go to the bathroom before I get taken down because the surgery is so short that they don't even put a catheter in. So yeah, he just explained how the procedure would go and was really good with my mom, was asking questions, how long would it take? Yeah, so he explained to her, just go, have lunch, take some time, and we'll let you know when she's back in the room. So that was great, and about 15 minutes later I got taken down. So my mom came with me she came with me downstairs, and it was kind of weird. I've never ever been in a wheelchair. Like, I never have had a hospital stays ever. So for them, they take you down in a wheelchair, which, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. So they took me down, and my mom came downstairs right to the edge where they have the recovery and the OR. Kind of kissed me goodbye, gave me a big hug, and I walked in. And I have to say, it still weirds me out how calm I was. I walked in, and it was this. The hospital is very clean, but it's very just basic. You know, it's what you need, and that's it. And it's just so clean. I can't say that enough. It's so clean. So I walked in, and it was just an all-white room with a metal table. In there was just a nurse kind of prepping different tools, and I didn't really pay much attention, but there was one nurse and the anesthesiologist told me to lay down. I laid down. He took my blood pressure, kind of explained a little bit, said that he was putting something in my IV that would make me a little sleepy, and at that point I still was very calm. And so he put it in, and I remember just my eyes kind of going a little heavy, and I opened and looked up, and I kind of had that feeling of, you know, when you're like had a few too many drinks and you just feel like, oh, a little bit warm, tingly. I had that, and I remember looking around the room, like scanning the room once and feeling like that, and that's the last thing I remember. And the next thing I remember, I was waking up in the recovery room. And when I woke up, I don't know if I was so much as in pain as it was just a weird feeling. I've never been under general anesthesia, ever. So that was kind of a little bit weird for me, waking up from it and being just a little bit disoriented. And then I know I could feel, like I don't know if it was pain or how painful it was, but I could feel my drain in my left side. And I think that just kind of freaked me out, especially mixed with like the disorientation. And I just remember waking up and feeling it and being a little weirded out and just saying, pain, I feel pain. And the nurses were really good. Like immediately reassured me and said, yeah, I'll come, I'll give you pain medication right away. And then I woke up again and I remember still feeling it, and it probably was like 5 seconds from the first time I had asked. Like, I don't remember how long it was. I don't think it was very long. But I remember still feeling that pain, and I just expressed to them again that I could still feel it. And then I did get pain meds, and then the next thing I knew, they were moving me. I think I was in the recovery room for about an hour. I think that's pretty general. They moved me. I remember it was kind of like flashes of being like in and out of sleep. And I remember them wheeling me into the elevator, and then I fell asleep again. And then I remember next thing I knew, I was in my room, and they'd asked me to crawl over from the bed they wheeled me in to my hospital bed. And then I remember just being in and out of sleep. And then I remember my mom peeking in and her asking how I felt. And at that point I had no pain, like literally nothing. I was just really sleepy. So I slept on and off. I would wake up, and when the nurses would come in to take my vitals or give me pain meds, for about 2 hours I was on and off. And about that time, because my surgery was in the afternoon, I slept for about 2 hours, and it was about 6:30 by the time I needed to get up. I did happen to get my period before I went in for surgery, so that was a whole other ordeal. I had to wear my underwear and a sanitary pad. So by that time I'd been, laying down for 4 or 5 hours. So my mom actually at that point around 6:30 reminded me I should get up and use the bathroom. So I got up, and it was kind of leery at first, but I was fine. As soon as I stood up, I was fine. I walked to the bathroom. My mom kind of just walked around me, made sure I was okay. I used the bathroom fine, and I thought, while I'm up, I might as well walk. So I went for my first walk. That was about 2 hours after surgery. At that point, I still had no pain. It was weird. I didn't have any of the gas pain that people talked about. There was no pain in my stomach. Kind of felt a little bit like if you do a bunch of sit-ups or crunches, you have that just soreness. But if I wasn't moving, then it wasn't sore. And even walking, I didn't feel it. It was only when I was sitting in and out of the bed or pulling myself up out of the bed. So I walked for my first time for probably only about 5 minutes. And then my mom had to leave, so we said goodbye. She made sure I had my phone, my charger, my ice chips, everything, and she went for the night. And at that point I was wide awake, and I FaceTimed a few of my friends, texted some of my friends and let them know I was feeling good. Apparently in the FaceTime, my friends could tell that I was still kind of out of it, because I was kind of silly, and I don't even know if that was it, so much as I felt really good. And at that point, still no pain, no gas pain at all. And so I slept really good that night, on and off. But when I was sleeping, it was a deep sleep. I know I'd watched a little, before I fell asleep, I watched Netflix, I think. And I think I kind of played Netflix all night while I was sleeping with my headphones in. The nurses came in, every hour or so to check my vitals or give me more antibiotics, my pain meds. I woke up, I think around 7 or 8 the next morning. They were coming in to do stuff. The nurses were so good. They were in there all the time. They just do such a great job. So I woke up the next morning, and even throughout the night, I had no discomfort, no pain. I would get up and use the bathroom. It was completely fine. I woke up the next morning, and one of the nurses explained that I was going to be going for my leak test around 10. So I got a little blue liquid first, and I drank that. And then they came to get me for my leak test. I went. It was really quick. I met some of the other patients down there also going for their leak tests, and it was just nice to catch up with them. And I had met some of them the day before, and I'd been chatting with some of them online for about a month already, so it was nice to see how they were doing. And so yeah, I went for my leak test and all went good. I went back up to my room. By that time, or shortly after, my mom had come back from the hotel for the day. And yeah, still no pain. I really, honestly, had no pain the whole time. When it would get close to me needing my pain meds again, like the duration was almost over, I could feel a little bit, like my drain would get a little bit sore, but like a 1, maybe 2 out of 10, like nothing. It was crazy. Yeah, so I came in that whole day. I don't know if I napped on and off that day, but me and my mom played cards, and we visited, we read, watched Netflix. We went for a lot of walks that day, probably every hour, probably every hour. And then right after my leak test, they gave me liquids. So they gave me an apple juice, water, and Powerade. I think they asked me to drink, was it 1 or 2 ounces every 15 minutes? 1 ounce, I think, every 15 minutes. So I'm like a really big follower of the rules. That's probably the teacher in me, but I just set an alarm on my phone for every 15 minutes, and every 15 minutes I would drink my ounce. And it would take me about 3 sips to get it in, and it was fine. I was loving that I was able to drink again, because my throat was just really dry and the ice chips just weren't cutting it. So Dr. Ortiz did come in this second day, or the day after surgery, I should say, and just explained how surgery went, that everything looked really exceptional, and my liver looked really good, so that was just reassuring. So after that, I was in the hospital for 1 more night. I didn't sleep as good that night, and I think I was just like, I felt really good, and I had a lot of energy. The nurses were a little bit louder that second night, and it wasn't even the noise because I had headphones in, but there was a light above my door that was on, and that kind of kept me up. But it was fine. It wasn't too bad. So I got picked up, I think it was like 7:30 or 8:30. It was really early anyways. The nurse came in, took out my IV, and I got changed, kind of washed my face, brushed my teeth, just kind of got a little bit ready, feeling better and feeling a little bit more like myself. We met down at the office. The nurses helped me with my bags. The driver came and took us back to the hotel. So when I got back to the hotel, we went straight to the Alighter Me Welcome Center, and they had the nurses come down, explain to us how everything worked, how they would come in and change our bandages and come and do our vitals, if we needed any other pain meds, or we had diarrhea or nausea, that they had something for that. They kind of explained that we would be in charge of most of our own pain meds, and just went over all the stuff. We got little bags that had all of our medication. So they had an antacid, antibiotic, pain med. They explained all of that. They were super helpful, answered all the questions. And then we were going to a room, and our floor, because my mom was already at the hotel, she had a regular hotel room, but we were going to have to move to the medical floor. But our room wasn't ready. So the nice thing was they just let us go back to my mom's hotel room. I had a shower right away, because I just felt like I needed a shower after being in the hospital for 2 days without a shower. So I had a shower right away, called the nurses. They were super awesome, came in, changed all my bandages. Then I think I had a nap for a while, and then they phoned us and said our room was ready. So the bellboy came and took our bags. We went down to the Welcome Center, traded keys, went up to our room. A bellboy brought up our bags. And I just want to say the medical floor is beautiful. It's beautiful. The rooms are just so nice and clean, and they have just different things you might need. Like they had one of the hospital tables that pull right up over your bed. They had like an assisted shower chair in the shower, which was nice. Rails around the toilet. I didn't need any of that stuff. Well, the table I used, but the other stuff was just nice that it was there. And my mom actually had a hip replacement about a month before, so it was nice for her to have that stuff be available also to help her. So yeah, we were in the hotel room that day. We went out for the shopping tour that afternoon, which was awesome. We went and had our they bring you to have ice cream, Mexican ice cream. We went and had the famous broth, which was delicious. I wasn't feeling too great that afternoon. Like, I didn't have any pain. I was just really tired, and the heat, I'm just not great with heat. So the heat and my exhaustion, I was just tired and wanted to go home. So we didn't end up doing the whole shopping part of the city tour. So we went back to our hotel room. We kind of just relaxed that day, slept, napped. That was pretty much it. The next day, they didn't know if there was going to be a beach tour, and we wanted to go shopping. So my mom and I and one of the other ladies just took a taxi. We got the bellboys to call us a taxi, and we went to, I think it was called Revolution Avenue. So my mom was really smart and asked the taxi driver for his card, and when we were shopping, when we got dropped off, the man asked us what we were doing. We just said shopping, and he said, well, come back to my store and I'll call the taxi for you. And it was super great, actually, because he did, and we felt so safe, like we didn't feel in danger whatsoever. There was a lot of people. The shop owners were really great. We shopped for about an hour and a half, and then we went back. And then we found out that they were having a beach tour. So there was about 8 or 9 of us that went on the beach tour, and it was beautiful. It took us down to, I think it was called Tijuana Beach, I think. And it was gorgeous. We went down and walked in the water. We looked around a little bit, took some pictures and videos, and that was super fun. Yeah, and then we went back to the hotel and relaxed again, walked around the hotel a little bit. Like all this time I had no pain. I felt great. I had so much energy. It was kind of crazy, and my mom thought it was really funny, actually. Oh, I should have added, when we went on the city tour, the first day back at the hotel, they took us to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist was really great and just showed us a bunch of stuff that we might want to take or consider buying. And so one of the things that I bought was a medication for kind of indigestion, for burping and nausea and hiccuping, which I was kind of having hiccups. And I bought that, and weirdly enough, the next day, like, all the hiccuping and indigestion stopped. So, of course. I also bought omeprazole. So that is for acid buildup. They explained to us that our stomach doesn't realize that it's, you know, like 20% of what it used to be, and it's still producing the same amount of acid. So the omeprazole kind of just regulates the acid until it realizes that, you know, it's really small. So I did buy 4 months of that. I also bought, and I can't remember what it called exactly, but it was for yeast infections and thrush. And they just explained to us because of the amount of antibiotics we were on, it can cause a lot of people to get thrush or yeast infections, even if they've never had them before. And I didn't want to deal with that, so I bought it. And I'm really happy I bought it and followed the directions for taking it, because other women that we went with, that I went with, bought it and didn't take it properly or didn't take it at all, and 1 or 2 girls did end up with thrush. So I'm so happy I did buy that. Yeah, so that last night we kind of just relaxed. I think my mom ordered pizza. I didn't really have an issue with her eating because I wasn't hungry. And I was just drinking a lot of liquids. We slept really good that night. We woke up. We had to be there, I think it's 7:30 or 8:30 we left in the morning. It was Sunday, so there was only one shuttle going to the airport. So, and they're like super good about explaining pickup times to you and how everything works. The Welcome Center team is awesome. They're just great. The nurses were great. They were super fast anytime that I called to get my bandages changed. If I needed any different pills, I think I needed a pill for, I think it was diarrhea or something, and they were super good about that. They came in once or twice a day or at shift change, take vitals, and that was all fine. They called ahead to let us know that they were coming, and that was great. And yeah, so we got picked up. It took a long time to get back into the States. So I think we were driving for probably 3 hours. We were stuck probably a kilometer, from like a kilometer to the border for like 2 hours. But we were in an air-conditioned van, so it was fine. Yeah, and they brought us right to the airport. We got our bag out of the car, and we were done. And that's it. So I just realized this is a really long video. So I was going to talk about how life has been, or, eating and everything since I got back. But I think I'm going to wait and do another video, like right when I'm done this. I'm just going to upload it separately because this video is like 30 minutes long already. So, yeah. Overall, my experience with the Lighter Me, both my experience and my companion's experience was awesome. Like, I can't even explain how awesome it was. I would do it like 1,000 times over, especially considering I had no pain. I was just amazed at that. And even when I got home, like, no pain. So if it's something you're considering, like, do it. A Lighter Me is a great company. The price is great. The people are awesome. There's so much support. The Facebook group, and it was an awesome experience, and I don't regret it for 1 second. So yeah, if you have any questions that I didn't, I know it was a crazy 5 days there, and a lot happened, and I'm sure I missed something. So if there are any questions at all, you can just put it in the comments, and I will try my best to answer anything. You can also check out my Instagram, which I will link below. I have some before and after pictures, and I just post a few things there to keep myself motivated and hopefully to motivate anyone else. But thanks for sticking through this crazy long video if you made it to the end, and I hope you check out my other videos. My next video will be talking about how I've been doing post-op up to 4 weeks post-op, which I was a few days ago. So thanks again for watching. I hope you like this. I hope this helped you. If there's any other videos you'd like me to do, then please let me know. Thanks.